well. I only have a minute left. Let me ask you, does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
Ukraine has biological research facilities, which, in fact, we are now quite concerned Russian forces may be seeking to gain control of. So we are working with the Ukrainians on how they can prevent any of those research materials from falling into the hands of Russian forces should they approach.
I'm sure you're aware that the Russian propaganda groups are already putting out there all kinds of information about how they've uncovered a plot by the Ukrainians to release biological weapons in the country and with NATO's coordination. If there's a biological or chemical weapon incident or attack inside of Ukraine, is there any doubt in your mind that 100% it would be the Russians that would be behind it?
There is no doubt in my mind, Senator, and it is classic Russian technique to blame on the other guy what they're planning to do themselves.
Can we appreciate what we just saw there? What we just heard? Good evening, everyone. Can we appreciate what we just heard? Marco Rubio asked a very straightforward question. And if I have to replay it in order so that we can rehear it, I will. Are there any such things, biological or chemical weapons, in Ukraine? To which this individual to whom he asked the question, all she had to say was, no, there are not. But you'll notice acutely absent from her long-winded response is a no. There are no chemical or biological weapons there. What you had was an aversion to answer the question and then a diversion onto a separate matter, which was no answer. There are chemical facilities, and we don't want the materials getting into people. A simple no would have sufficed if a simple no were an actual accurate answer, but you can't lie under oath. So what do? Just don't answer and divert away to look over here. Let's talk about this. There are facilities. There are research facilities. Yes, that's a yes. I'll ignore the original question. And then Marco Rubio's next question, if something happens, would you be 100% certain that it was Russia? First of all, likely, possibly, potentially, there are very few things in this life that are 100% certain. We know the joke, death, taxes, and I just saw a car insurance ad. It was called Shields or something, and car repairs. He asks a question which had an easy no answer, if that were in fact the answer that, I'm sure that's the answer he wanted. If he did not know that he was not going to get that answer, then Marco Rubio might be less intelligent than I even gave him credit for in the first place, because rule number 1 of law, typically you don't ask a question if you don't know the answer that you're going to get to it, because you might not be happy with the answer. So if he's asking a question that he doesn't know the answer to, and the answer which he was expecting was no, and the answer was not no, well, my goodness, did he just step in it? And then in order to try to step out of it, my old expression, he stepped in the poop. Instead of just stopping and then moving on, he decides to run around the whole house and then pad his question with, well, if something bad were to happen, it would 100% undoubtedly be Mr. X's fault. Oh, yes, 100%, because they always do. They always accuse others of doing what they're doing, which is ironically exactly what that person just did in that response. But it gets even better, by the way. It gets even better because this fits rather well into an earlier tweet, Twitter mouth. Let me just see if I can pull it up here. It's this one. Okay. Boom shakalaka. If using the Lord's name in vain, again, God forbid there are any chemical or biological weapons used or any nuclear incidents in Ukraine, have zero doubt who is behind it. So not only can Marco Rubio not understand the past, but he can predict the future. And by even suggesting this, it's a curious thing. But the funny thing is, I went to just, I discovered this this platform. Hold on one second. You can actually find people's, where is my face here? You can actually find people's deleted tweets. And it's very cool. It's very cool. Let's just go through. You just got to see. I mean, it's not that it's an absolutely idiotic tweet because it's almost like getting ahead of the curve, military style, and it's a peculiar, bizarre tweet. But oh yeah, here we go. So I said share. Yeah, not only can Marco Rubio see through the fog of war, because we are living through an era now where accurate information in real time is very hard to get, and you should be very cautious before tweeting statements of fact in the Twitterverse. Not only can he see through the fog of war, he can predict the future. You know, Marco, there's a website where you can see deleted tweets. Your judgment on Twitter recently has been questionable at best. And wait till you see this, guys. Wait to see this. Let me go bring this up. It's so amazing. The internet is forever. Think before you speak. And if you make a mistake, apologize for it. But let's just go see some of the gems that came out of Marco Rubio's Twitter mouth. Let me just see. Where is it? How do I get to the thing? You know what? I think I have to go back here and then I can go in here. Oh, no. Oh, come on. Figure this out, Dave. You're embarrassing yourself. Pro Republica. Check this out. Let me just make sure that we're seeing the same thing here. StreamYard. Yeah, we are. Okay, good. Let's just go read through a few of these. Deleted tweets from Marco Rubio, Republican, Florida. I hope the Saudis and Emiratis reconsider. When was this one? This was deleted after 2 minutes. By the way, you can see right here. I hope the Saudis and Emiratis reconsider, but the message here to Biden is very clear. If you are going to demand they exercise restraint when they get attacked by Iran, they are also going to exercise restraint when Russia attacks a European country. Not even sure I understand that one. This one was deleted after 4 minutes. I mean, I want to know what happened in his head. Was it a delete to correct a typo, or was it a delete because you regret that tweet immediately? I immediately regret this decision. I can't emphasize enough how much Putin and his risk calculus has changed. He will push Belarus into war, use chemical or biological weapons, slaughter millions, and impose Stalinist restrictions in Russia to avoid humiliation or the perception that he was forced to back down. This is another one of those every fear hides a wish tweets. Rubio is... and why did he delete it? I'd like to know why he deleted it and what he replaced it with. Oh, here we go. And then we got another one deleted after 29 seconds. I don't even... Okay, whatever. This might have been a factually incorrect statement. This is what happens when you are, I imagine, not prepared. And I want to play it one more time because I want to go over in real time the diversion, the deceit in this answer. Where was it? Oh, did I shut down the... Oh, darn it. I think No, here it is. We have to just do this in real time.
Well, I only have a minute left. Let me ask you, does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
Chemical or biological weapons? That's the question. Ukraine has something else.
Biological research facilities.
So that's a true statement.
In fact, we are now quite concerned.
And now you're off on details of a tangential question that nobody asked.
Seeking to biological research facilities.
That's nice. If they have biological weapons, they probably have biological research facilities. The question was,
does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
The answer is yes or no.
Ukraine has biological research facilities, which...
What are they doing with those biological research facilities?
Russian forces may be seeking to gain control of.
What would be the concern of the Russians gaining control of these biological research facilities if they don't have biological or chemical weapons there? So is that a confirmation? Some might say yes.
So we are working with the Ukrainians on how they can prevent any of those research materials from falling into the hands
research materials. Now it went from substances, what they have in those, to research materials. What does that even mean? Does that mean the product of research, which would be exactly what Rubio asked for? Sorry.
Russian forces, should they approach?
I'm sure you're aware that the Russian propaganda groups are already putting out there all kinds of information about how they've uncovered a plot by the Ukrainians to release biological weapons. And
Rubio did exactly. He himself has done that. He's already put out tweets to the effect that if it happens, have no doubt who's behind it. And now he's accusing Putin of doing just that. I mean, do people see this? I hope people see this.
The country and with NATO's coordination. If there's a biological or chemical weapon incident or attack inside of Ukraine, is there any doubt in your mind that 100% it would be the Russians that would be behind it?
100.
There is no doubt in my mind, Senator, and it is classic Russian technique to blame on the other guy what they're planning to do themselves.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's jaw-dropping, eye-opening, stomach-turning, shocking, outrageous, and it would only be that to anybody who saw it and to anybody who would interpret it the way it needs to be interpreted in order for people to understand why this is so shocking. And by the way, I'm not suggesting for a second that Putin is not doing this, capable of doing this, will not do these things. You know, accuse your enemies of doing what you are doing so as to create confusion. It wasn't Putin who made that up. There's some theory that it was, what's his name? Goebbels, Hitler's propaganda minister. But my goodness, Rubio either didn't understand the question. Sorry, he didn't know the answer to the question, or he prepped this witness or knew that this witness was going to answer the question in a diversion, deceitful concealment type of way. But my goodness, did they reveal everything nonetheless? And, you know, interpret all of that with Rubio's own tweets from a few days prior. That's it. Now, on the issue of what this all means in the global geopolitical context, our guest tonight